Okay, so here is the Word document that is some of the excerpts from the account or the book that Cabeza de Vaca wrote after he went back to Madrid. It was really a report to the King of Spain about his experience in, what we now call Texas. And of course, at this time in history, no one had any concept of Texas, especially the way we think about Texas, none whatsoever. But from 2023, we can look back and realize that de Vaca's writing about, he's the first European to write extensively about the area that we now call Texas. So note that you can download this document or you can just read it on Canvas. So what I did, the whole account La Relation is much larger than what you see here. I just took some basic chapters, some of the key chapters. By the way, at Texas State, there is an actual copy of one of the 1555 editions of La Relation in the library there, which I think is absolutely incredible. I'm kind of jealous of Texas State, not kind of, I'm very jealous of Texas State that they've got that. I think it's really, really awesome. Anyway, so take a look at this account. And it really won't make a lot of sense to you, I think, until you listen to the podcast, listen to De La Teja's discussion of Cabeza de Vaca, look at the map. And then at that point, when you look at this excerpt, this small piece, this small portion that I pulled out for you to read, I think it'll make a lot more sense to you. And so I try to provide a context for you as you as you look at this, what we call a primary document. We call it a primary document because it's a document written by the historical actor himself. It's a he in this case. So anything that's written by a historical actor is what we call a primary document. And it's always, this is the gold standard for historians' primary documents, because what you're reading the words of somebody who arrived in what we think is Galveston Island in the 1520s, in his encounters with the peoples there. And I don't know, I think it's kind of incredible. You're getting an eyewitness account, de Vaca's eyewitness account of his experience, and it starts. He washes ashore with some of his group of Spaniards that started in Cuba. They all die off. They do crazy things to each other, and then he manages to create a life with the indigenous groups along the Texas coast, and then he ends up walking across North America and reuniting with the Spanish. And one of the things I want you to be aware of is when he reunites with the Spanish, he's really shocked because the Spanish try to take the natives that are with him. He's gained a following, de Vaca. They try to enslave those natives, and he's pretty horrified. He's not pretty horrified; he's horrified. But this just shows how his attitude towards the native peoples had changed. He'd grown to respect them. Unlike other Spaniards who just saw them as only fit for being slaves. This is one of the reasons that I find de Vaca so interesting. So what you're reading is this first person account, and you may hate it. You think, oh God, why do I have to read this? So boring. It could have been a lot worse, I'll tell you. I could have given you the whole thing. And I think a lot of students will actually find it really interesting. I hope so anyway. I think it's interesting. And I realize not everything I think is interesting you'll find interesting, but I guess that's just the way it goes, huh? And then to give you a sense of how to study the de Vaca excerpt, I also attached a primary source analysis worksheet, and that serves as a study guide for you in terms of what I'm looking for. Let's see here. It's up there. There it is. What I'm looking for in the Devaka, what you'll be, what you're going to be quizzed on. So you might want to print that out and have it beside you as you go through the short Devaka excerpt that I'm having you read. Okay, let's see here. Back to modules. Okay, so anyway, I hope that's helpful. I hope you get a sense of how you're going to be quizzed this week, beginning on Friday. I hope you get a sense of how I approach history, how I try to tell a story. I try to make it very organized in the module so your notes can be organized. And from my point of view, I try to hit that sweet spot between asking like an insanely difficult question that's super in the weeds, that kind of makes students hate history, but then also making the course too easy. I felt like over the last couple of years, the course had gotten a little bit too easy, and students didn't have to really study that hard to do well in it. And it's not that I want you to study hard just because I'm trying to hassle you or make your life miserable. I really want you to know Texas history. I think it's important. I think it's relevant. I think it will really help you understand Texas in 2023. So in my quiz questions and my midterm questions, I'm trying to hit that sweet spot between being too easy, but also I don't want to be like crazy hard and drive you nuts. If you just put in a decent effort in this class, and you come out the other side much more knowledgeable, not only about Texas history, but how history works in general, I'll feel like I've done my job. And my job is to make you smarter and to make you more educated, to make you more articulate, to make you more insightful, to make you have a better understanding of what it means to be a human being on planet Earth in 2023. And so in my quiz questions, that's what I'm aiming for, just to make you a sharper, smarter, more intellectual, more interesting person. Now, if anybody has any questions, as always, please email me. And good luck. And I hope your other courses have gotten off to a decent start, and that things are going well, and that you do very well in this and every other course this semester.